this could be Spider-Man Noir's Clone Saga. Hey everybody, Colton here, and we've got a question from Drake. Drake writes, Colton, I know you said that Spider-Man Noir is being called Ben Reilly instead of Peter Parker because they can't legally call him Peter Parker, but I just read this article where the creators behind the show, that show being Spider-Noir, they said that there is a bigger reveal in the show as to why he is Ben Reilly. Could this be a reveal that he is a clone just like in the comics? Okay, and you sent a link to this article. Let me pull that up. And let me just say, yeah, the Spider-Noir trailer dropped. I don't think it looks great, like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing, but it does look fun. It looks quirky. It's crazy how I watched the color version and was kind of underwhelmed, and then when I watched the black and white version, it just seemed more like whimsical and quirky, and it just kind of fit the tone better being black and white. It's weird how just changing something as simple as that can kind of change your opinion on it. But I love Nicolas Cage, and I'm excited for it. Now, in that video that you're referencing, Drake, I talked about why they're calling him Ben Reilly instead of Peter Parker in this series, because Spider-Noir, or Spider-Man, he's not even really called Spider-Noir, he's called Spider-Man Noir is the character's name. But in the show, they're calling him, I think they're calling him the Spider or something like that, and the show is called Spider-Noir. Long story short, that's because Sony can't make a show called Spider-Man, and they can't use Peter Parker. They can't have a character called Peter Parker. I did a whole video on this yesterday, so feel free to go check that out. But that's the reason. So they're going with another Spider-Man name from the comics, which has been Reilly. We'll talk about who that character is as well. But I do want to look at this article here that was sent to us by Drake to see what he's exactly referring to here. So this is over on Yahoo Entertainment. Seeing if I can find any direct quotes. Okay, it's saying that the producers behind the show, here's a direct quote from them. And yeah, I'd seen this quote, that Peter Parker feels very synonymous with a high school kid, boyish, on his way up. They quoted that as one of their reasons for not having him be Peter Parker. They continued, this character is very different from Peter Parker from the movies. He is an older and jaded, not afraid to punch a guy in the face drunkenly. He already has his Chinatown disillusionment moment that happened years and years ago. Ben Reilly, on the other hand, has already gone through the entire arc and has seen it all. He's over it and trying to move past it, but his past kind of keeps coming back to haunt him. It's just a different version that we haven't seen before. Okay, here's the fun part. I have to be coy about the reasons because you'll find out there's a reason he's named Ben Reilly, or the reason he's named Ben Reilly is explained. We'll leave it at that. Okay, that's the quote right there. So everything I said about the legal of the reason that they can't call him Peter Parker, I still stand by that. That's true. And why they can't call him Spider-Man either. As far as this, about this little line about the reason he's named Ben Reilly specifically is explained in the show, I think you're right. They're going to say he's a clone. They're going to make him a clone. Because Ben Reilly, for those of you who don't know, and I have read bits and pieces of the Clone Saga, never read it all the way through. But essentially, the Clone Saga, the character of Ben Reilly, he is a clone of Peter Parker. There's even a point in the comics where it's teased that maybe Peter Parker is the clone and Ben Reilly's the original. But he's not like a bad guy or anything, and it's actually like a big struggle for him finding out that he's a clone. And for a little while, he becomes Spider-Man. He becomes the Scarlet Spider. And that's just this whole thing. He's like created by this villain, the Jackal, which is rumored to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So maybe there's a connection there. I highly doubt it. But that's who the character of Ben Reilly is. Ben Reilly has no connection with Spider-Man Noir. Spider-Man Noir is just a variant version of Spider-Man, a noir version of Spider-Man, who is Peter Parker. That's who Spider-Noir is. Never in the comics, to my knowledge at least, have Ben Reilly and Spider-Noir been connected. So I do still 100% think the reason that they're having him be not Peter Parker is because they legally can't. But them choosing Ben Reilly, I was thinking it was just because Ben Reilly is like one of the only other guys who has actually been Spider-Man and filled that role. And he does look like Peter Parker because he's a clone. But to find out that perhaps they are going, in fact, I think this all but confirms it, that they are going to say, yes, he is a clone of Peter Parker. And perhaps he already knows that. It's just going to be an audience reveal. Or maybe I don't think he would find out in the show. I would think he would already know because like he's going by the name like Ben Reilly and all that. But that would be cool. And maybe it's the same producers from Spider-Verse. So maybe he is a clone version of the Spider-Man Noir from those animated Spider-Man films, the Spider-Verse films. And keep in mind that Spider-Man Noir, who Nicolas Cage also plays, he is Peter Parker. He's Peter Parker. So if this is the same universe and all that, this could be Spider-Man Noir's Clone Saga. This is his Ben Reilly. That would be cool. You also sent me another article here. Let me. Nicolas Cage's superhero isn't called Spider-Man in Spider-Man Noir series. Right. Am I right that he's called the Spider? See if there's a direct quote. Let me read through here. Nicolas Cage's upcoming Spider-Man Noir series. It's a 1930s noir. He's not named Spider... Sorry, guys. I know I'm kind of jumping around. He's not named Spider-Man in the Spider-Man Noir series. In Spider-Man Noir, Nicolas Cage plays Ben Reilly, not Peter Parker, marking a shift from his earlier role in the Spider-Verse films. The series calls his masked persona the Spider. Knew it. Deliberately echoing pulp heroes like the Spirit and the Shadow. And also because they can't call him Spider-Man. And then again, here's this quote about Peter Parker feels very synonymous with a high school kid, boyish, on his way up, and all of this. I'm telling you, I hope no one doubts it. Never doubt the Colton. It's totally the legal thing. But I'm glad they found a creative way around it to make him Ben Reilly and the reason that he's Ben Reilly. But yeah, I would love the idea of finding out in this show that he's actually a clone and seeing him like go through that crisis. Nick Cage could play that up, man. So yeah, I'm excited for that. That sounds really cool. Thank you for that question, Drake. That was a fun one. All right.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.